and every story can change the world. Together we are Global Speakers Talk.
Everybody, I want all of you to take some time out to really think about, what does breaking a wall down mean to all of you? I feel as though everybody out there has a wall, has adversity, has just a problem, has an issue that they see that is standing in front of them. But how do we go and, instead of avoiding that problem or that issue or whatever that conflict is, that wall, how do we find a way to not run away from that wall and actually run right through it? Because I'm telling you right now, for a guy who recently lost 200 plus pounds, I can tell you first and foremost that walls, adversity, conflict, pain, struggling, suffering, crying, I've been through it. I've been through it all. And I know firsthand from experience what that feeling is like, to run away from those walls and not run through them. So before I kind of get into the crux of my talk here, I just want you guys to all think about that. What is that wall, that problem, that conflict that we need to go ahead and find that solution, resolve, and run right through? Well, let me give you a little bit about my background, my story, to maybe help all of you, show you a path of how to break that wall down and become unstoppable. So again, my name is Raheel Siddiqui, coming to you from the DC area, born and raised in Long Island, New York. Go Knicks. Had to throw that out there. And I really want to share just a part of my story to really help you guys break those walls down. And hopefully you can see how we can develop a path, a framework to help you guys ultimately break your walls down. So most of the time, I am a motivational speaker. I am an inspirational speaker, podcaster. I go around the country speaking to everybody around the world about one specific framework that I teach. It's how to get from point A to point B and how to knock down every single wall that stands in front of your way. It can be one big wall or a bunch of walls, but how do we get from point A to point B? It's just that simple. That's the framework. That's what I teach everybody. So let me elaborate. In my story, my journey, Raheel Siddiqui, born in Long Island, New York, I pretty much battled obesity my entire life. I was overweight, literally from birth, elementary school, middle school, high school, college, post-college, well into my 20s. I was 27 years old. I was 405 pounds. My father was a healthcare professional at that time. He was a pharmacist. And one Saturday morning, he looked at me and said, "Man, I'm getting worried. You're my youngest son. I need to take you to the doctor. I am very worried about you. I don't know what's going on," as any parent would be for their child. "Let's go get your blood work done. Let's go get you checked out." I said, "Okay, let's go." Not ideal, but we had to get it done. Got my blood work done, went to go see the doctor to look over my results. And if you know me, I'm notoriously known for this story, but I hope all of you can really listen very clearly what I'm about to say. The doctor walked in with a folder in his hand of my results, looked down at the folder, looked up at my father and I, flipped the pages of the results over, closed the folder, threw the results of the folder on the side of the counter, looked up at my father and I and said, and I quote, "It does not matter what these results say. Your son is going to be dead by the time he's 40 anyways. We're just wasting our time being here." And that's it. Ice cold. So in my mind, as I like to say, there goes that 5-star review for you, doc, right? I mean, just straight up stone cold blooded. And that was it. My father and I, shocked, as you can imagine. My dad and I, well, before we left, my father and the doctor went off to the side for a few minutes and then we left. The fastest doctor's visit ever. But I feel like this is the part where I really had to take control of my life. So halfway home, my father and I are in the car. I'm driving. My father's in the passenger seat. He looks at me. He says, "Hey, I need you to pull the car over." I said, "Why? Is everything okay?" He said, "Yes, pull the car over." I said, "Okay." Pull the car over. He looked right at me and he says, "Listen, this isn't a game. I'm running out of time. I won't be there to see you get married. I won't be there to see you have kids. But you still have time. You still have time to take control of your health. You still have time to take control of your life. And we are not leaving here until you promise me. I'm on the side of the road, on the shoulder. I see tears coming down my father's eyes. I said, okay, I promise. I promise you I will go ahead and take on this wall, try to break this obesity wall down once and for all, but just don't cry, because nothing is more painful than seeing your own parent cry over being worried about you. So then we drove home, and my father was dealing with a lot of health issues at that time. And then we left and I went home and the journey began. This was in January 2010. Tried and failed a lot. May 2010, I joined a gym. A close friend of mine recommended me to join a gym with all of our friends. And then from May 2010 to May 2011, I did lose my first 150 pounds. I was feeling on top of the world. I kept my promise to my father. But then, as they say in life, walls, as we're talking about, they come up and you don't know when they're going to come up. 2 months later, we go to a family wedding in Connecticut in July 2011. We're in the hotel bed the night of the reception at a family wedding. My father's liver ended up blowing out. He ended up dying right in my hands. So it was one of the most traumatic experiences in my life. The very next day, we go to Baltimore, where we lived, and we did the funeral. We had 500 people. I bend over to pick up his casket. I stand back up. What happens? Pop. I hear a pop in my back. I blow out my L3, L4 herniated disc. So in my mind, I'm like, what just happened? 1 minute I'm on top of the world, I'm unstoppable. The next minute I fall back down hard. And then fast forward to 2016, I got married. My wife and I were struggling to have children. The weight kept piling up. 2019, we did deliver our son, which was the best feeling ever. January 2020, fast forward, I go to my work garage to tie my shoe. I stand back up, pop, I have another herniated disc in my back. So I'm like, what is going on here? And I remember driving home, lying down in my car, driving home in the bed. My wife is yelling at me. And I remember one line that she told me that I'll never forget. I gained more than half of the weight back. The fire that I had just wasn't there. I'm a new dad. And I remember my wife telling me, you know, just because your father died doesn't mean the promise that you made him died with him. I know you. I know how much you love to train. I know how much you love to have that fire, that energy, that desire. I can't have a husband, God forbid, in a wheelchair. I can't have my son's father in a wheelchair and can't be happy and free and exercise and have fun and, you know, not be there for him. So lo and behold, she was like, let's knock this wall down and let's get this done. Let's get surgery done and get this fixed once and for all. Got surgery done. Surgery was a success. 6 weeks of rehab, physical therapy. My wife, shout out to her. She was a part of all of it, helped me get through all of it. 6 weeks go by, go to my checkup with my surgeon, and my surgeon tells me 3 words I'll never forget. Shout out Doc Z if you're listening. He said, let it out. That's what he told me. Let it out. And I was like, wow. He said, Raheel, your full systems go 100% pain-free after 9 years of sciatica. Pain-free, let it out. And I became a straight beast. I ripped off all that weight that I gained and then some. I am down 200 plus pounds. I am in the greatest shape of my life. Every single wall in front of me, I was able to run right through it. Every single one. And that is the point I want to make to all of you out there, CEOs, thought leaders, entrepreneurs, whatever you're going through in life, in business, if you're in a bad relationship, if your business is struggling, if you're somebody who's dealing with weight loss issues, if you're dealing with adversity and you have walls that come up, the bottom line is life is not fair. It's just not. But I will tell you, if you feel as though you're in that moment where I was, where I lost my father, I blew out my first disc, I did have trouble having children, I blew out my second disc, you know, tears and fears and crying and pain and struggling and suffering, you name it. I promise you, wherever you are in this moment at rock bottom, if you feel as though today is your rock bottom and you're listening to this and you're listening to me speak, I can tell you, you can look at it one of two ways. One, you can look at it as this is the worst time of your life, or you can look at it as this is the best time of my life, because when you're at rock bottom, there's nowhere to go but up. Right? Can you summon the will to climb that mountain again? However far down you have fallen in your life, in business, in relationships, in your health journey, whatever it is, you can come back from it. I promise you. I am a guy who literally has fallen down more times than I can count. I am a guy that has cried and struggled and suffered more times than I can count. And I'm here, and I do train 2 hours a day, and I am in the greatest shape of my life. And I am the most active and the healthiest version of myself. And every single day I wake up, I remember the promise that I made to my dad. I made a promise to him that I'm going to see this through all the way. So, long story short, whatever you're going through, whatever trials and tribulations, whatever walls, it can be knocked down. It can be. Change your mindset. Shift your mindset to tell yourself, however hard it is from get to point A to point B, whatever goal, dream, desire, fire, accomplishment you're waiting for, it's there. It's waiting for you. The walls are going to come. We can't control that. But I promise you, if you just don't quit and you have that fire and you have that desire and you put yourself around a great support system and you tell yourself, block out all the noise and just keep your head down, focus on the work and not the results, you can accomplish anything. You can be a wall breaker. You can do it. You can be the hero of your own story. I promise you that. I am a guy that is living, breathing proof of that. And if you want to find out more, please follow me Instagram at Raheel the Speaker, my website, raheelthespeaker.com. Please book me. I am speaking all across the country, all across the world. I would love to come out to your organization and share more about my framework, my story, how I can help you break those walls down and become unstoppable. I hope all of you out there had a great time so far. Thank you so much for tuning in and hearing me on this Power Talk. Thank you, Global Speakers Talk. Much love. Follow me. And remember, any wall in your life is meant to be broken. Thank you, guys.
Together we are Global Speakers Talk.